Hello, today I will be talking about the evidence-based practice pivotal response training, otherwise known as PRT. PRT is one aspect of applied behavior analysis that focuses on certain important or pivotal skills. These pivotal skills include motivation to respond to social cues in the environment, responding to multiple cues, management of own behavior, and initiation of appropriate behaviors. One of the many goals of using PRT with students with autism and other developmental delays is to improve communication and language skills. The information about PRT that I've used for this presentation was retrieved from Autism Internet Modules, the website that we've used in the KU Master's Program thus far. Currently, there is a vast amount of research studies done that support the use of PRT in the classroom, in clinical settings, and at home. The National Professional Development Center on ASD has guidelines as to what makes certain practices evidence-based. PRT is considered evidence-based because it fits within the criteria of having a specified number of peer-reviewed research studies in scientific journals. One of these studies in particular was conducted by Emily A. Jones, Edward G. Carr, and Kathleen M. Feely in 2006. They demonstrated the positive impact and effectiveness of DT and PRT in teaching joint attention to 5 children with ASD. The results of this part of their research study showed that the participants' responding and initiation skills related to joint attention increased due to their participation in PRT. The researchers resulted from the success of the intervention that PRT could help improve other communication deficits related to ASD by systematically teaching certain specific behaviors using the principles embedded into PRT. Another research study that I have found that supported the use of PRT was conducted by Helena Leiden, Olive Healy, and Geraldine Leader in 2010, in which the researchers compared the outcomes of PRT in video modeling. They compared the two evidence-based practices to teach pretend play skills to children with ASD. The results of this research study showed that children with ASD can increase and improve their pretend play skills by participating in PRT and or video modeling, meaning that both methods can benefit the children. However, the results of PRT showed a significant increase of play actions made by the participants of the study when comparing the baseline data and then the follow-up assessment data when comparing to video modeling's their data. Also, they found when assessing generalization of the play actions learned through PRT, the children showed more significant progress, which was not found at all in video modeling in their participants' data in that assessment. Now we will move on to talking about the procedures used to implement PRT. The procedures used in PRT do not necessarily have to be taught in a certain order. However, it is really important to hit each of these steps when doing PRT lessons with the students. So we'll get started. The following steps are essential to every PRT lesson. First, the teacher or adult who is teaching the lesson has to gain the student's attention before asking questions or starting the activities so that you know that the student is paying attention to you and is ready to learn. After you've gained their attention, before asking any questions, the teacher or adult should give the student some sort of choice of item or activity so that it's student-led and that they're motivated. And, preferably items that are highly of interest or highly preferred to the student. Once the student is engaged and has made a choice of an activity, the teacher can start the activity and they should try to implement a shared control and turn taking with the student. Basically, shared control is just a balance of control between the student using the activity and then the adult using the activity. And you'll see in my lesson that I've attempted to use the shared control method, and we'll just get to that later. Once you're into the activity, it is time to vary the tasks and responses that you want to use with the child, meaning that you want to differentiate the tasks and responses that the child uses so that he or she can generalize the learned skills and try to keep their interest going throughout the lesson so they don't get bored and want to leave. Along the same idea, while teaching PRT lessons, the teacher should switch between newly acquired responses and learned or maintained tasks to also increase motivation to continue working with you. While working with the student, the teacher should reinforce all attempted responses and vocalizations within the lesson. Reinforcing these attempts increases motivation, once again, and increases the likelihood that he or she will respond in the future. If your student feels comfortable vocalizing and responding, then they'll continue to do that in the future. The last step or idea to keep in mind while implementing PRT is the use of natural and direct reinforcers. So this means if you're using a natural reinforcer, it's things and activities that are directly related to your activity or the task at hand. For example, a natural reinforcer could be swinging, like being pushed on a swing after the student says go or push. The natural reinforcer is being pushed on the swing because that's what they want. So now once we've talked about the procedures, we'll now talk about data collection. Now, data collection is somewhat difficult to manage while implementing a PRT session due to the fast-paced nature of the practice. It's a little unnatural to stop what you're doing to write down information because it might take away from the motivation and the flow of the lesson, and your student might become distracted and walk away. So the Autism Internet Module team has suggested using an interval system in which you do 15-minute interval timing and to record consistency of performance responses, which are your behaviors that happen a lot or really frequently, and then you record first opportunity performance of responses, and these are the behaviors or the skills that occur at really low frequency. So then after the 15 minutes of the time interval is done, the student is allowed to use the material or the chosen activity independent while the teacher quickly writes down the data, the tallies, however you want to easily write it on a data sheet. The goal of doing the data is to show consistency of successful and unsuccessful responses, and then inconsistencies of performance or opportunities to use the skill, behavior, or response. So while data is really important, it's just a matter of time management and how to use it wisely. So in another video clip that I did separately, I did a PRT lesson with a student. I had a very limited time in my day in the classroom to film this, so I will just talk about my the demonstration aspect of it now. So, because in the video, my student was very focused on the blocks and what we were doing, so I'll just talk about the steps that I talked about earlier right now. So, in the video, I gained my student's attention by saying hi to him, and he says hi back. I used his choice of activity by giving him two options. I gave him a picture of wooden blocks and then a picture of Legos, and he chose which one he wanted to play with. we try to vary the responses by saying go, ready, set, go, push, and fall down. So push and fall down were pretty new to him, while go has been a maintained skill since, a couple months back. So we were trying to vary what he says so he wouldn't, predict what I was going to have him say. Along the same lines, we were interspersing some maintained skills and then the new skills, which was saying fall down or push down. I tried to use shared controlling and turn taking by having him build up with the blocks and then having my turn build up with the blocks. Sometimes he was really excited and just kept going, which was fine. Turn taking is an emerging skill for a 3-year-old, so no big deal at the moment. And then I reinforced each attempted response. This student in particular really enjoys social praise, and he got the natural reinforcer of seeing the blocks fall down and, really enjoying that, which is the whole point of the fall down. Let's see. Like I said before, the natural reinforcer in this case would be the blocks falling down, and that is directly related to the response or the vocalization of go or fall down. That is about it for that. So please watch my video and enjoy the cuteness that is my student. Thank you so much for taking time to watch the videos, and I hope that you've learned something new about PRT. Thank you.